I've said it all the time. I think Samoa Joe should always be here. Like when he's done, he's the guy guarding the door. You want to speak to two? No, talk to me first.
Yeah. What up?
Let me hear your idea. That's stupid. Go home.
Yeah.
Right?
All right, Drew.
Well, you can't talk to Tony. I want to talk to Tony. What you gonna do? You gonna fight me? I'm gonna whoop your ass. Like he needs. Like that's what Tony needs. Because anybody can go in and shove Tony around. Tony's gonna be scared for his life for the rest of his life. But they need a buffer to make sure these things don't get out.
He can't be that accessible. I understand.
He's too accessible.
Yeah, like he wants to be friends with everyone. He brings them in and he's hugging and shit. No, like even with Vince, as big an asshole Vince was, like he had like 3 people all the time.
Yes.
Maybe 4. Like they knew his crew. Where if you wanted to get something over, you'd be like, yo, Michael Hayes, come here. Or for a second, Paul Heyman, come here. Like, he had, what's his face, who passed away. God forbid. He was the first Intercontinental Champion. What's his name? His right-hand man.
Come on.
I can't remember it. And I'm on the spot.
Pat?
Oh.
Pat Patterson?
Pat Patterson.
Thank you.
Yes, sorry. I blanked. But Pat was always the right-hand man.
Yeah.
At his crib. There was like the pool party story. Like they'll just go and they'll book whole fucking years of wrestling. You go to Pat.
Yeah.
Yo.
You go to Jim Ross.
You go to like, yo, I think I like this. They go to Vince. And then there's stories of like people not talking to Vince for 4 years when they get to the main roster.
Yes.
And then like finally getting in front of him and sitting down in the office. Like it was a thing to finally be able to go. Jericho talks all the time like, yo, I knew I reached like cachet levels when I could knock on the door and actually go in and talk to Vince.
Yeah, they're only, and again, I'm not saying anything that people don't know, so it's fine. Like, I know this because I've talked to people. Not everybody has access to Vince.
No.
Like, there are certain people that can go into Vince's office. There are certain people that are not allowed to go in Vince's office.
No.
And not even because, like, you're not allowed, because he doesn't know who you are. Like, he doesn't know your actual name. He may know your wrestling name. Yeah. He doesn't know who you are, so you don't have access to him. Tony should be the same way. I know he wants to create this society that's like, oh, everybody's cool and jovial and I'm accessible and you can text me anytime. Yeah. You don't, it's too much. Yeah. Everybody can't have their hands on you. You have to have a buffer. And that's the only way the business will change for him. But again, the inmates running the asylum is a trope that people want to use to predict the downfall of AEW. That won't be the downfall of AEW.
No. And they got too much money to fold right now. Like, WCW's turnover is like, I'm done with it. So the money source,
was a shit product.
Yeah, the money source ran out, and that was the beginning of that.
It was shitty.
I don't think Tony's gonna let the money source, and they're bringing in new TV deals, all this.
And you were signing people that went into business for themselves. Yeah, right. You signed like when you got Hulk Hogan, you gave him creative control. Yeah, it was the biggest mistake you could ever done. And he was like, I ain't losing to nobody. Whereas when you sign somebody like Danielson, he's like, I'm cool with losing. Yep, that's what the business is about. Like they're signing the right people in AEW. They're not signing people that go into business for themselves. WCW's downfall was people that didn't want to put people over.
It was towards the end, but they didn't want to recognize it was towards the end.
Like you saw like Jericho, he was getting hot and Goldberg didn't like him. And Jericho's like, what the fuck, man? I'm trying to put you up. Like everybody's seen the story. Jericho made that feud with Goldberg because it was only supposed to be one match, but he was so great with Little Gilbert and all that shit. Yep. It was so great that they kept it going. But Goldberg didn't like Jericho. Jericho realized, oh, there's a ceiling here. I'm out. AEW, there's no ceiling on talent yet. There's no scenario where you look at talent and go, they'll never make it. There is a pecking order, but that's in all companies, mid-carders, main eventers, so on and so forth. But right now, you're looking at Swerve and be like, oh, he could be a champion.
Yeah. If you get hot, like, the sky is the limit because it's still relatively new.
It's still new. You still have opportunity. Yeah. Whereas in, at WWE, there was talent you were like, oh, you're going to be a jobber forever.
Yeah. In which that's changing a bit.
It is
now because like Gunther getting over is like, oh, there's a path here.
Yeah,
like I get it.